Hi, I'm Bejay Mulenga. Let's talk about turning your side hustle into your main hustle. My entrepreneurial journey started in the school playground. I was that kid who was always trying to find interesting things to do with themselves. I wanted to do a t-shirt line, that failed. I did a couple of talent shows, they went well. But the side hustle that changed my life was my tuck shop. Age 14, I created my school's first official tuck shop. I managed to convince the school to set up a shop. The school had never had a shop before, so it was a first for the school. And me and other business students set up a tuck shop where we were able to buy our own goods, make our own rules, and get our commercial experience going. It was a journey. It wasn't something that was easy. There was spoiled stock, there was cash flow problems, there were products that sometimes went missing, and we had to learn on the job. This tuck shop, I took from one shop at age 14 to 100 stores over 4 years. Super Tuck was my first original business, and it inspired me to create loads of other sub-ventures in the Super brand. Now they call it side hustles, but for me, it was just, I have an idea, let's go do it. One thing that I think is key when starting your side hustle is knowing yourself. There's a few questions you might want to ask yourself. There's understanding what kind of people you want to work with, what kind of people you want to hire, what the culture should be in the business. Also, what products actually interest you. It's not worth you picking a business that has loads of good margins, but it's not of real interest. Once you figure out who you are, who you want to be, and the types of business you want to be in, start designing your day around that. Business is going to be something that requires long hours, but if you know that you're a morning person, design around that. Similarly, if you know you're an evening person, design your day around that. Don't let the constructs of what business looks like define how you run your business. Let who you are define how you run your business. A critical factor to running a thriving business that you actually enjoy is having motivation. Motivation is something that can, when it's there, push you to do great things and go the extra mile, but when it's not there, ultimately you have no business. Motivation for me is something that we have to work on rather than wait to be motivated. I have personally seen my motivation go up and down at different points in my life, and I've now learned a few techniques that enable me to continue to be motivated. In the morning, having 1 to 2 hours of no social media, and having that space to journal, to exercise, to meditate, and also to just go for a little bit of fresh air walk. Having non-negotiable time in your calendar for self-care can be something that impacts yourself and your own performance, but also impacts your team and the wider community. 9 out of 10 businesses don't survive past the first year. Most startups and side hustles sometimes are so fast sprinting, they don't always put their milestones in the right place and review it often. A tactic I use to manage my business is a thing called OKRs. OKRs stand for Objective Key Results. It's a very simple way to identify the 3 to 5 key objectives that we're going to work towards for a duration of a week, month, quarter, or a year. Enables everyone to see where you're going, where we've come from, and what are the incremental things we need to do today to hit those goals. A simple way to set OKRs for yourself. Stage 1 is understand what it is. Go and see the stories of how OKRs are set in some really big companies, but also in small businesses across the world. You'll find multiple templates that you can go and access straight away. Step 2 is to have a go at looking at your yearly targets and then breaking it down into quarterly targets. Don't be afraid of making the most perfect OKRs, because there are plenty of free tools online that will enable you to have very specific and smart goals. As an entrepreneur, as a side hustler, it's very, very important to focus your energy. When I've built my businesses over the years, I've had to focus my energy and refocus my energy so many times. And one of the biggest things with managing the focus is understanding what is the most important thing you can do to have impact today and in this quarter. I started to journal because I found that as a business owner, there were so many things that I had to deal with in a day, in a week, in a month, and in a year. There's so many external factors that come with running a business that you don't always get to process if you're not putting it down. The powerful act of putting something on paper enables you to start to see the puzzle. So I found journaling, especially back-to-back consecutive days, even if it's just one sentence, can be such a powerful act, because I start to see patterns in my behavior, patterns in situations I don't like, patterns in opportunities I really love. And if you're an entrepreneur who has multiple things and multiple focuses, Think about putting all of your milestones down on paper and all your to-do lists on paper and really mapping out what is important. Through that activity, you'll be able to actually identify how you should really be spending your time and hopefully see the results. Being a perfectionist and getting it right and doing the best thing you can ever make is one of the things that may potentially slow you down. On the one side, you have procrastination, but on the other side, you have being too perfect. The matter of fact, you don't decide what the best product and service is, the market does. The sooner you can get to talking to people whose needs you're actually serving, the better your business will be. In Startup Plan, they call that MVP, minimum viable product. Something that you can get to your customer as quick as possible to start to get feedback. You may have a bar that you're trying to reach, but when you're building a business, the most important thing is about providing a service or providing value to your potential customer. And that value sits with them. So building a relationship with them is one of the most important things you can do today to actually get some momentum in your business. Being an entrepreneur is one of the most exciting jobs today. It's also one of the most tiring, stressful, and very lonely jobs. I personally tackle loneliness and mental health at work often and try to talk to other entrepreneurs about the journey they're going on. My top tip for tackling your loneliness head on is to be curious. Understand that everyone has been on a journey and there's something you can learn from everyone. You'll find very quickly that others have gone through things you're going through. And I find that the more open you are to the world, the more you'll find others who are willing to lift you up and take you to another place. If you've got everything made up and looking great, people will find it really hard to give to you, especially in times like now where there's so many other people in need. It's important to find safe spaces online where you can actually talk to other people. My own business, Super Network, 10X Group, there's Enterprise Nation, the Small Business Federation. Find other entrepreneurs online through your local hubs and build relationships. A big moment for side hustlers and entrepreneurs when they're starting their business for the first time is knowing when to commit and to go all in. I'd say a massive factor in turning your side hustle into your main hustle is understanding your costs, both to live and to run the business. Do you need an office? Do you need a warehouse? Do you need a space to store things? It's very important for entrepreneurs to build an emergency fund for at least 6 months, because that's going to be the thing that's going to enable you to really push and go for it without having to worry about the money. You may find from doing this activity that you may actually need to raise some capital, and raising capital may not necessarily be from a bank or from an investor. It may actually be another side hustle that is more seasonal, doing delivery on the weekend, doing overtime, helping another startup that's maybe a further along to me that actually needs more hands. But the point is, make a strategy and stick to it. Building a side hustle into a main hustle can change your life. Stay motivated, be resilient, and set the right objectives. Now it's up to you to take your side hustle into your main hustle. Good luck.